Hey everybody, the following is an excerpt from the monthly Rahdo Roundup, and if you'd like to see the rest of the roundup, you can hit that eye up in the top right corner of the screen, or if you'd like to know more about the game, you can follow the link down in the show notes. And with that out of the way, let's talk about Warp and Weft, which unfortunately I have not done a run through for, and actually I don't think anybody have done any videos for this yet. One channel has, this is Alice. She's just, by the way, as an aside folks, can I just say I love Alice? She just started doing her channel a couple of months ago, and what she does is she reads the rules of board games that are on Board Game Geek that nobody's covered yet, and then she understands them, and she does a walkthrough based on her understanding of the rules, and she does a really great job. Unfortunately, she is French, and her accent is so thick that she is the only channel on YouTube I watch at standard speed so I can understand her, and I still have to turn on the subtitles sometimes to do it, but she's doing great work. Alice, in case you see this somehow, you're amazing. But sorry folks, I've gotten way off track. Let me start over and talk about Warp and Weft. So, what is this? This is a drafting game, like Sushi Go, or Seven Wonders Duel, or Tavern of Tiefenthal, but instead of drafting cards, or tiles, or dice, in this game, we're drafting shoelaces, quite frankly. The game comes with tons and tons of shoelaces and a gigantic bag you put them in. And at the beginning of every round, everybody reaches in and pulls 5 shoelaces of varying colors. I think there are 5 colors, if I recall correctly, out of the bag. And then everybody has their own little weaving board. You can see there's all the different weaving boards. What you're going to do is you're going to take one of these 5 laces and you are going to weave it through a hole on the left and the right, or the top and the bottom, and start trying to create a woven pattern, because we're basically making woven rugs in this game. As part of setup, there are a bunch of objective cards that are put out on display that show different ways you want to weave these things together. Get a point for every blue next to a brown. Get a point for every 2 browns next to each other with a pink being woven between them. Now, over the course of the game, you are only going to get to score a subset of these. There's also always one super card where if you can do both halves, you get 5 points, but you got to do both of these things that are often very different. So over the course of the game, I got these 5, and then later on 4, and then 3, and then 2, and I got to pick one, and then I got to pick where to weave it. And let's see, I think there was one picture here that kind of showed at the end of the game what it looks like. So there at the end of the game is somebody's woven rug, tapestry that they've made. And you can see they were, for instance, they were trying to score this one because they've got 2 blues and they've got a white going between those blues. But maybe they were trying to do this one as well because they've got a blue next to a brown. And they've got a blue next to a brown over there. Did they pull off the really big one? Browns next to whites? Did they do that at least once or twice? Yeah, there's a brown and a white, and then they need blue-pink with a green in between them. Blue-pink with, green in between those. They tried to go for it someplace else. Ah, yes, there they did it, right there. Blue-pink with a green in between it. So, the thing is, folks, every time you play, and then, of course, after you've picked one and you've woven it, you then hand the other, the other shoelaces, for lack of a better term, to the next player. And then the player to the right of you hands them over, and we just keep drafting and placing them. And again, folks, this is another one this month that totally made Jen's and my brain melt. It sounds so simple, but it's the fact is you do not get to score all these things. Each player only gets to pick 2 of each of these 1-pointers, and everybody's also trying to do the 5-pointer, but you don't choose right at the beginning of the game. At the end of every round, after all the drafting is done, because we're going to do 4 rounds of drafting, which means we'll ultimately weave 16, let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. Where is it? We're going to, come on. Oh, what is happening? Oh, why did that happen? I don't know. There we go. So here's like the final. I mean, this, honestly, at the end of the game, there is just a sense of pride that comes from having made this. Because you've literally created something physical in the world. And I cannot stress just how again, satisfying it is. But then, of course, over the course of the game, I have only, you can see at the end of every round, you're going to get to take one of your buttons. 2 of your buttons are going to go on the right. 2 of your buttons are going to go on the left. And those are going to be the 4 things you're going to score for out of the 6 that were potentially available. Or was it 8 that were potentially available? And so you could start trying to build stuff for things that you might claim later, find that, oh, when I get there, I just never can get the shapes or colors that I want, and kind of pivot. But every step, because the other thing is you're working on 2 axes. All of these different things you can score on the vertical. They're all shown on the vertical, but you can score them on the vertical or the horizontal, or both. And so trying to figure out how best to do that is just a mind, I want to say mind F, but I will say just a brain burner. I'll leave it at that. But it's just, this game really, in a way I have not seen for myself, maybe in years, really caused me to break down and just try to think. I mean, because it's so clever and there's so much to consider with every lace. And of course, seeing what laces, because I can see what my neighbor is going to be able to hand me. I know one of those 3 is going to be mine. If I could get that white, if they hand me that white, I don't know if they're going to hand me that white, but maybe I should set aside that green so I can put it next to that white and go for that objective. Or maybe I should forget about that and just weave this green over here to score this other objective. Or maybe I don't keep the green at all. There's so much that goes on with each one of these laces. And again, it's really satisfying to finish it, but this is a mind melter of the highest order. I cannot recommend it highly enough for people who want really, really fun, engaging, and just tactile. The act of weaving these things together is just fun. I mean, I'm kind of reminded of Azul, but this is heavier and crunchier than Azul. And at the end of the day, Azul, one of the things that was so great about was its tactile nature, using those little Bakelite tiles and placing them and sliding them around. But this one, the tactile is even more because we're really, genuinely weaving a tapestry, a textile. So there's a lot going on here. I love it a lot. So why did it come in at number 20 of the month? Folks, I kind of told you, it's too much. I like to think of myself as a pretty sharp gamer, but I gotta warn you, the rules here are super simple, but the crunchiness factor of this game is off the charts. That combined with the fact that even though I am genuinely weaving, it is still a fairly abstract game. And again, I've mentioned before in these roundups, I like to have a little bit more story to tell. Why do I need to make these particular abstract patterns in the thing? I don't know. It's just all kind of arbitrary to score points. So I think for most people, I mean, certainly most people aren't bothered by Azul. And honestly, I do not casually draw the comparison between these two because I think they both scratch the same itch in a really big way, but while still providing radically different gameplay. So if you like Azul, but you want something heavier and crunchier and ultimately more tactilely satisfying, you might want to check out Warp and Weft, which was our number 20 of the month. And thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference, believe me. But with that out of the way, if you'd like to see some more, over on the left, you can find a playlist of a whole bunch more Rahdo Rapid reviews. Up in the top right, there's the latest thing that's been added to the channel. And in the bottom right, you've got something YouTube recommends. Okay, folks, thanks for watching.